Good afternoon. It's Anne-Marie Gaudette from Cruise Holidays. I apologize. I usually do my lives on Tuesday. However, this week is just going crazy. I leave next week for Scandinavia, England and Scandinavia, escorting a little group, and I'm trying to get everything ready, and time has just gotten away from me. So anyways, but I didn't want to leave you. I did want to present a little bit of more of Egypt. And so we're doing it today, and hopefully I can do next Tuesdays before I go for my flight. So it'll probably be Tuesday morning. I realized when I got into presenting this that there is just so much of Jordan and Egypt to present that I really am having to break it up, or else I'd have you on here for 6, 7, 8 hours. So I hope you're following along with me and enjoying my presentation. I just, as I've said before, Egypt, up until I went to Egypt, Galapagos was the best trip I'd ever had in my life. But it's number two now, still number two. But Egypt, Jordan and Egypt are now number one. The most amazing trip I've ever been to in my life. Jordan was absolutely wonderful. Hopefully you've had a chance. If you haven't had a chance, I have saved them. So you can go back and look at my previous recordings from Jordan, my pre-cruise in Jordan, and also the pyramids of Giza and Memphis when we were in Cairo. And now and then last week I talked about Luxor. And now this week I'm breaking it up because I have to, and I apologize, but I have to. There's just so much to talk about and so much to show you. So this week I'm talking about the Valley of the Queens, the Valley of the Kings, and Edfu Temple, Horus Temple. I was trying to get Abu Simbel in here, but in starting to make my presentation for that, I just realized it's just going to be too overwhelming. The whole trip was amazing and overwhelming. So going back, I'm just enjoying so much going back and remembering and looking at all my pictures and my videos, but I just don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. If you don't know me already, my name is Anne-Marie Caudette, and I own Anne-Marie Gaudette, and I own Cruise Holidays of Metro East, celebrating 26 years in business this July, so next month. Cruise Holidays Select, Cruise Holidays Metro East, Moncton. So all the same company, just a couple of different titles, that's all. You can reach me all at the same place by email or by calling. So, but please, hopefully I'm going to keep everything in order this week. Last week I went out of order a little bit, and I apologize, but this week I'm hoping to get in order. I do this cruise that I took, land cruise portion, I booked through Emma Waterways. And the reason I prefer Emma Waterways for, especially, I mean, I love Emma Waterways, don't get me wrong. They are my number one river cruise company. But the reason I specifically chose Emma Waterways for my Egypt and Jordan was because they are one of the only river cruise companies that do 7 nights on the Nile. And as you can see, this is taking me so long to present to you. There's so much to see and do. I cannot imagine doing everything that I did and saw with only 3 or 4 nights on the river. Really, you do need 7 nights. It does give you a bit of downtime to relax while you're sailing on the river. There's a beautiful pool on the boat, and it was really needed. A few afternoons where you had a couple of hours to just go and swim in the pool and relax, because you are just seeing so much and it is so overwhelming. So let's get started. Valley of the Queens first. Pardon me. Let's hope I can get this. This is Nefertari's tomb. So let me get this going so that I get it right. Here we go. So Valley of the Tombs. Valley of the Queens. Here we are. And we are we're going to see Nefertari's tomb. And this is kind of the outlay of how big her tomb is. Now, Nefertari's tomb, I will tell you, when you go to Valley of the Queens, Valley of the Kings, they do switch up what tombs you're going to see. They do try to do this because obviously they're trying to preserve these so many people breathing things like that. They do time. They do like to give them, I guess, a break from having people in, and they seal them up. So we were lucky enough to see Nefertari's tomb. But if you go to Valley of the Queens and you don't happen to see it, some of the other queens are just as amazing. I was blown away. I will tell you right now, the colors in this tomb were like they were painted yesterday. And unfortunately, I'm not an Egyptologist, so I can't tell you all the story. Although inside the tombs, our Egyptologists were not allowed to explain things to us. It was more, we walked around, they told us before what we were going to see, and when we got out afterwards, what we had seen. But they try to keep it so that there's not 5 million guides at the same time talking. So, so this is why there's no talking, but you can see, I mean, the levels and things like that. Now, I do have a little video for you because I want to show you entering Nefertari's tomb, the steps down, and what you see when when you first get in there. So. So as you can see, it's quite you know, you're stepping down and the colors hit you right away, and then like look at that. And of course, all of these tell a story. They tell a story of Nefertari's life and her hopes for the afterlife. But you know, these are thousands and thousands of years old, and the colors are just outstanding. Like I can't explain, you know, I feel almost as dumbfounded as when I was in there, because it's just overwhelming and beautiful. And like I said, I wish I could remember some of the stories of what these symbols meant and the stories that went with them. And of course, we all know that the dogs and the jackals were so important to the Egyptians, sorry. But there you go. That's Nefertari herself. And I can't imagine when these tombs were first uncovered, what the people that were in there first like saw. They must have just been so overwhelming. Unfortunately, many of the tombs were ransacked and robbed before anyone got in there, so it pretty well as well, you know, a lot of the gold and things like that were stolen, but the pictures and the colors were just overwhelming. Next up is Valley of the Kings. Now, on your right, I guess, is obviously the sign, the Valley of the Kings, but on the right is kind of like a 3D map of what the Valley of the Kings look like. Now, when you're there and you're in this valley surrounded by these mountains, I just could not get over how you like, how did they know? I mean, I know they know, but how did they know, right? And actually, before I apologize, see, I did jump ahead, and I apologize. I forgot to show you some videos. So here's some videos of Nefertari's tomb. So.
3,100 years
years old, and that's still the same natural colors. And as you could see, it's quite big. The tomb itself is quite big. So now we can get back to the Valley of the Kings. Get back here. Now we can get back to the Valley of the Kings. I apologize. I was trying to go in order and still couldn't. Anyway, so this is the kind of map of how the Valley of the Kings is, and here's just a video. And like I said, it will show you what I was thinking as far as how did they know? I mean, I know they know because of the when they could finally read hieroglyphics and things like that. But still, it's just amazing to see. This is the Valley of the Queens. Oh, Valley of the Queens. My apologies. You see the graded, the things covered, that's all entry to different tombs.
Nothing like the Great Pyramid.
No, no, that didn't quite.
So it kind of just looks like mounds of dirt. Now this is the Valley of the Kings. And it makes you wonder how many more pharaohs are buried under there that they haven't found yet. I'm sure there's many, many, many. So pretty amazing. Let me get back here. So this is inside Ramses III's tomb. Once again, the colors are just, I wish I could read hieroglyphics, but the colors are just all amazing. And then next, we were lucky enough to be able to go into the tomb of Tutankhamun, or Khamun, as they say. It was pretty amazing. His mummy is still there. His tomb was found in, I believe it was 1902. It took them, they were searching for this for 5 years. And the story goes that one of the helpers' son was also helping, young son was also helping. And they were very close to giving up on the search for the tomb of King Tut. And the little boy sat down to have a drink of water one day and picked up a rock, as kids do, and found something, went running to his father, and it was actually the the where the tomb was. So actually, it was the little boy that actually found the tomb of Tutankhamun, Kamun, however you say it. And the other thing too is when they opened the tomb, I mean, the air in there, was 3,000 years old. And actually, they had to leave it open for a few days. The people that were there that first opened the tomb actually died a few days later because the air that was in there was, I guess, full of something that killed them. So they had to kind of leave the tomb open and let it air out a bit before they were able to go in. There he is. There's King Tut himself. Uh, and there's my friend Nancy and I. But see the beautiful colors behind there? Like it was, I mean, you could tell it was an important king's tomb just by the colors that were there. And this is actually the room that they found King Tut in, and you can see where the all the paintings behind him. And let me see if I can find the video of it. I believe this is it. This is King Tut's sarcophagus in the room they found it in. This is the only decorating in the tomb. The colors are just outstanding, just amazing. Go back up here. Next, we went to Edfu, Edfu Temple, and the Temple of Horus. This was the next day. I'm trying to get you as much as I can without overwhelming you. But anyways, this was the Temple of Horus as we came in, and the etchings and the statues were just outstanding. And I mean, look at the size of the people. You can imagine how huge this was. I mean, it was outstanding. It was unbelievable. And this is the entrance to Horus Temple, and these were out front here. And then as we go, look at the columns and all, like it was just, I mean, those columns are very tall. Like, I don't know how they did it. But anyways, this is the entrance to Horus Temple. And as we can see, once again, all the carvings, and they all have stories. And like I said, I wish I could have an Egyptologist here to tell us what all the stories were. But I don't. And I just am trying to show you what you will see. And this is inside at the very, very back of the temple, where they had that. Oh, and before I get there, let me show you the video of the temple, inside the temple, or outside the temple. Carvings everywhere. And last but not least, I want to show you, we were on a river cruise, so I thought, I should show you a little bit of what we saw. This was one day when we were sailing by the river. If you could get the full imagination of, you see how green everything is there beside the river. But if you could see the larger picture of the desert in behind this, It just is such a contrast from the beautiful green lush area that is right there at the river, and then you run into desert, and it is just, it's an amazing contrast. And I just have a little video here of us sailing on the river. I mean, really, everywhere you turned, there was something, temples or, uh, caves. It was just nonstop. So I hope you enjoyed my session here of the what we showed the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens and Horus Temple and the Temple of Edfu. Next week, hopefully before I go away, I'll get to show you Abu Simbel and perhaps a few other temples. Like I said, I was hoping, really and truly, my first thought was to try and do this all at once. And for anybody that's been following me along, you can obviously tell that there was just way too much to show all in one sitting. So I certainly hope you have enjoyed this. And if you do ever get the chance to go to Egypt and Jordan, please put it on your bucket list. It is honestly the trip of a lifetime. It changes you. It was overwhelming, and I really and truly, my pictures don't do it justice, my videos don't do it justice, how I'm describing it don't doesn't do it justice at all. There, but it truly is an amazing trip of discovery. Now, before I let you go, I will be, like I said, next Tuesday I am flying out to England. I have 2 days in England and then one night in Southampton before we get on the absolutely beautiful Celebrity Apex for our trip to Scandinavia. And I will be doing some lives from Scandinavia and from even in London afterwards. We're going to Stonehenge and Windsor Castle and, sites around London and stuff like that. So if I can't do lives, I will videotape it and put it on Facebook for you, or YouTube if I can do it on YouTube, so you can kind of come along with me on my adventures. I'm very much looking forward to it. Like I said, I have a small group, 18 people, so we're looking forward to that. And I just do want to tell you, if you haven't got plans this summer made and you really want to go away, come along with me to France and Luxembourg and Germany. We are on Emma Prima sailing August 28th. We start in Luxembourg, and now I'm doing 4 nights. I'm flying into Paris and doing 4 nights in the Champagne region of France. It's a region that I haven't really traveled much before, so I'm looking forward to having 4 days in there and drinking lots of champagne, and then getting on the boat in Wasserburg in Luxembourg and sailing down the Moselle and the Main and the Rhine and seeing a lot of different places. There's still some really good availability with me. Your onboard gratuities are prepaid by me as a gift from me. And right now there's a promotion. Get $150 per person shipboard credit that you could use for anything on board the ship. If you want to get a massage, or since all your shore excursions are included, you don't have to pay money for your excursions. But if there's something in the gift shop or you want a massage or something like that, there's the shipboard credit for that. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me this week. I certainly hope you have enjoyed yourself. Once again, my name is Anne Marie Gaudette from Cruise Holidays. If you would like to call me, my toll-free number is 1-800-535-9424. Or if you'd like to email me, it's my name, Anne Marie, ANN Marie at love, which is LUV, the number two, cruise, CRUZ.ca. And hopefully we'll be seeing you next week. Take care and thank you for joining me.